Hey everyone, I am so excited today to announce that Elliot Page tweeted a wonderful message for everyone to read. Here's Elliot's message. Hi friends, I want to share with you that I am trans. My pronouns are he, they, and my name is Elliot. I feel lucky to be writing this, to be here, to have arrived at this place in my life. I feel overwhelming gratitude for the incredible people who have supported me along this journey. I can't begin to express how remarkable it feels to finally love who I am enough to pursue my authentic self. I've been endlessly inspired by so many in the trans community. Thank you for your courage, your generosity, and ceaselessly working to make this world a more inclusive and compassionate place. I will offer whatever support I can and continue to strive for a more loving and equal society. I also ask for patience. My joy is real, but it is also fragile. My truth is, despite feeling profoundly happy right now and knowing how much privilege I carry, I am also scared. I'm scared of the invasiveness, the hate, the jokes, and of violence. To be clear, I am not trying to dampen a moment that is joyous and one that I celebrate, but I want to address the full picture. The statistics are staggering. The discrimination towards trans people is rife, insidious and cruel, resulting in horrific consequences. In 2020 alone, it has been reported that at least 40 transgender people have been murdered. Sorry. The majority of which were Black and Latino trans women. To the political leaders who work to criminalize trans health care and deny our rights to exist, and to all of those with a massive platform who continue to spew hostility towards the trans community, you have blood on your hands. You unleash a fury of vile and demeaning rage that lands on the shoulders of the trans community, a community in which 40% of trans adults report attempting suicide. It's true. Enough is enough. You aren't being canceled. You are hurting people. I am one of those people, and we won't be silent in the face of your attacks. I love that I am trans, and I love that I am queer. And the more I hold myself close and fully embrace who I am, the more I dream, the more my heart grows, and the more I thrive. To all trans people who deal with harassment, self-loathing, abuse, and the threat of violence every day, I see you, I love you, and I will do everything I can to change this world for the better. Thank you for reading this. All my love, Elliot. I'm sorry. I was watching Christians react channels yesterday, and all they spew out is, you're going to burn in hell, you're going to burn in hell, just so many homophobic things, so many disgusting, vile things. I believe a true Christian doesn't judge. A true Christian doesn't follow a book that man wrote. A true Christian isn't going to follow people who promote child abuse and molestation and things like these little cults do, these little Christian cults who marry off all these young girls and boys and have 10, 15 wives to each person and claim they're Christian. But they spew hate against transgender communities, and they throw out hate against gay people, and they judge constantly. And I don't believe that's true Christian. But all these Christian React channels on YouTube, so many of them do that. And then you have these, like Elliot said, you have these other big platforms that make the most disgusting, even jokes about this. When we're losing so many transgender people every day. I don't know how they think. I don't even like when you get on the internet and you see that someone's died and people are making jokes. People are making jokes, and it's like, they're just like, oh, too soon. Sorry. But they'll say stuff like too soon. Then you got the people who are pretending to be gay or trans, you know, or then you got the people who are abusing so many different authorities that they have to target transgender people. And you have people like Davi Vanity who have abused so many girls, whether they were, straight or transgender or bi. He's abused and sexually assaulted so many of them, but yet he still has a platform to lure more girls in. And the suicide rate, I think I was talking before about my best friend from my childhood who was gay that committed suicide. I don't know if I've told that before, that story, but I had a really good friend, and he was one of the best people I ever knew. He got bullied so bad at school because we grew up in a place where me dressing like I'm dressed right now was not okay. That I'm dressed. That was considered me dressing like a boy, and it wasn't okay. We were supposed to be dressed in like dresses or like tights or low cut shirts or whatever. Like we were supposed to be in pink, purple. Girls weren't allowed to wear like boy colors. Boys weren't allowed to wear girl colors. Boys couldn't play with dolls or with doll houses. Girls weren't supposed to play with toy trucks. And you still see society raising children like that now. You still see people doing this now. I don't understand what it's going to take. What is it going to take for everybody to just understand? Let people do them. Leave them alone. And the murders, the trans people and gay people that have been murdered, all I think about is look at all the families who have lost loved ones over this hate. Look at how many families have disowned their own family members because they're gay. You really mean you disowned your own daughter or son because they were gay? Because they were trans, because they were bi, because they weren't Christian, because they were atheists, because they didn't agree with you, or that whatever it was. And they were good people, but you just threw them out of your life because they love the same sex, or they love both sexes, or they wanted to be called he or she or that. I can't imagine doing that. Some of my bestest friends in the whole world, my only friends, when I went to school, one or two of my only friends, only, when I say only, I mean they were my only friends, were gay. And they couldn't tell nobody. They couldn't breathe a word to nobody because they knew they would be crucified. They knew the town would shun them. They knew the school. One friend of mine, she had to move. Once everyone found out, all because her and another girl kissed. And of course, the boys that were egging it on were, oh, that's hot, that's hot. And then once it happened, oh, you're this, you're that. Calling her a DIKE and a lesbian and things. And then they go to school and what do? They bully her. Then what do all the girls do? They bully her. Then she was raped. And she had to move. Why did she have to move? Why didn't everybody else have to move? Why didn't they have to deal with something, It reminds me so much of the Brandon Tina story. Or Tina Brennan story. If you haven't seen it, watch it. What they done to Brandon, I still cry thinking about that. What they did to Brandon, all because he wanted to love. All because he wanted to love somebody. They killed him. They beat him. They raped him. They took his life away because he loved someone. And I know a lot of the new generation hasn't seen that movie or heard the story, but if you haven't, go watch it. Go read it and see what is wrong in this world today. Brandon did not deserve that. Nobody does. It's like, it's just so hard. I don't know. And I'm so emotional, I guess, because when you deal with it and you live in it and you watch your friends deal with it and your family, like it hits you so hard. It's so easy when you're outside of the box looking in. When you're outside, you can look in and point your finger and it's just easy. But when you're in that box and it's you or your family and your friends and you lose a family member, at least I'm reading back right here, in 2020 alone has been reported at least 40 transgender people have been murdered, the majority of which were Black and Latino trans women. What? What is wrong with people? What is wrong, man? Like, why can't they just leave them alone? Go away. Let us live our life. You know? I fully support the trans community, bi community, gay community. I support every community. The only thing I don't support is people who hurt children or people who hurt animals. But if this person wants to marry that person, go. If that person wants to be with that person and have 10 kids, go. I don't care if they're both men or they're both women. Oh, I know some of the best parents that I know are both men. Some of the best parents I know are both women. I know single parents who are amazing. It's not what's down there or what kind of is up here. It's the person. And there are some amazing people in this world. But people don't give them a chance, though. They just, oh, you're this, so go away. You don't matter. You know, when I was younger, when I first started feeling certain types of feelings, and I thought I was bisexual, and I told a friend of mine who I thought was a really close friend, and I was in my late teens, and I told her that. She laughed the first time because she thought I was joking. The second time, because I waited for a while, I was like, well, I'm not going to say nothing right now. Well, later on, we had a mutual friend, who would come around here and there who I knew was gay. And I was like, well, being that she doesn't have a problem with, him being gay, I'll just go ahead and tell the truth about this. That way it's out the way. It ain't like I was doing anything to her or nothing. And I told her one night while we were out, and she completely lost it. She was like, this whole time you've been hitting on me and doing this and doing that, and you're not my real friend. And I'm like, what? What? That has nothing to do with me being bi. What are you talking about? That's nothing to do with me. I've never done anything to you. Yeah, but you like women. You've probably been looking at my butt and looking at this and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I haven't. What? How can you just automatically assume? And just because my friend Kathy tells me she's a lesbian doesn't mean I'm going to turn around and say, oh, well, you've been looking at me? You've automatically been trying to hook up with me and blah, blah, blah. That's crazy. But that's how this community is. I don't know. I'm so proud of you, Elliot. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for everyone who gets to live their life and be happy and be themselves. And just remember, no matter how many channels, whether it's Christian React channels or it's homophobic channels or hate channels, no matter how many of these people and channels tell you that you can't do this and you're going to burn it and blah, 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 don't listen. You be you. Be you and be happy.